Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So in the last video, we covered the bones of the skull. We talked about every bone individually. We talked about the frontal bone and other bones individually. But in today's video, we'll be looking at the skull as a whole. Like, we're not going to be extracting bone by bone and talking about them. We're going to look at a full skull from different views. Here we have optical views, like superior view, view from top. We have a front view, a lateral view, back view. All of those are different views that we'll be looking and then trying to pick out bones and identify them, maybe looking at different foramens. We'll see how far we can go. So the first view we'll be looking at is the easiest one, in my opinion. We'll be looking at the opical view, or the superior view, looking at it from the top. So right after I see this, I can identify the frontal bone, the simplest one. We have two parietal bones, the boring bones. We have one occipital bone here, and of course we have the two nasal bones in the front here. And actually we can see a bit of the zygomatic bone in here. You can see it goes out, so you can see that. The next view is the front view. Front view meaning we're looking at it from the front. We're not going to be looking at it from the side. We're just looking at it from the front. The standard anatomical position has your face looking in front. So that's the standard anatomical position. So, okay, let's start picking out some bones in here. Here we know this is a frontal bone. We can see the parietal bones here. I could also guess that this is a zygomatic bone, and if the zygomatic bone is here, then this should be the temporal bone. I should be right. Yep, temporal bone, and this should be the maxilla or maxillary bone. Here's one. Here's another one. Here's the infraorbital notch. Here's the supraorbital notch. Here's a mental notch in here. Yep. Here's another mental notch or mental foramen. My bad. I can also see that this is a mandible in here. This should be the mandible. This should be the vomer, and this should be the perpendicular plate of the ethmoid bone. So this is part of the ethmoid bone. Again, this is another part of the ethmoid bone. We said it looked like a butterfly, so that's like I would say the body of the butterfly, and those are the wings of the butterfly. We can also see that in here we have we've already talked about the infraorbital foramen in here. We can see, if we look deeper into the orbit, by the way, is where the eyes are. I think that's pretty simple. If we look deeper into the orbit, we need to identify and know the different the foramens and the different bones in here. So the yellow, the top part is a frontal bone, that's for sure. And here we have this sphenoid bone. Here's one. Here's another part of the sphenoid bone. Here's another part of the sphenoid bone. So the sphenoid bone is basically the middle of the orbit. This should be the zygomatic bone in here. Here's the zygomatico-facial foramen. And this here should be the zygomatico-orbital foramen. This one here, but it's not labeled. And here we have the maxilla. Here's the infraorbital foramen. This should be the lacrimal bone. Yes, lacrimal bone, correct. Here's the nasal bone, not part of the orbit, but just keep it in mind. Here's a supraorbital notch, infraorbital notch. Actually, last night I was touching the top of my eye and I actually kind of located the supraorbital notch. There's apparently a vein or a blood vessel that goes through here. So I felt a pulse in this area. I don't think anything else needs to be said in here. Yeah, here we have the inferior orbital fissure. This part, and yeah, that's pretty much all we need to talk about. Of course, there's this big fissure in here that you need to know, the superior orbital fissure. So here's the inferior, here's the superior, and this one is called the optic canal. So that's all for the orbit. Now the frontal. Now we finished the frontal view. Let's look at the skull from a lateral view, from the side. So what I did here is that I had different pictures of cutting down the skull into different pieces. So here, the skull, we've not cut any bones, we're just looking at it from the side. Here's a temporal bone, here's sphenoid bone, frontal bone, parietal bone. This should be the occipital bone in here. Of course, that's apart from the facial bone. This is a mandible in here, zygomatic bone, maxilla, nasal bone. So that's very simple stuff. But something to keep in mind is that here, between the sphenoid bone, the frontal bone, the parietal bone, and the temporal bone in here, there is a very critical blood vessel called the petroin blood vessel. And it's very critical. If someone gets damaged there, it's very important to stop the internal bleeding, because this could lead into instant death if it's not watched correctly. So now we're looking at this picture. What we did in here is that we first of all took the mandible away, and then we cut part of the temporal bone. So here we cut the temporal bone. We cut most of the zygomatic bone, and we're just looking at it from a different view, like if we're going deeper into it. And of course, this is a petroin. This is where the blood vessel is, the critical part here. Yeah. So next up, we're going to be cutting half of the skull. So now, the nasal bone, we're gonna be cutting where one of the nasal bone ends. cutting there, and that's what we'll be left with. And of course, it's very important to keep this in mind. In here we have the inferior concha, so we have two inferior conchas. You have middle and superior conchas, very simple stuff. Lacrimal bone is in here. Again, you can see part of the lacrimal bone. If you look at the orbit from the frontal view, here's the lacrimal bone. Here, lacrimal bone, yeah. So you can see part of it in the orbit, and the other part you can see is here in the nasal cavity. Those are all cartilages, of course, and remember this is a perpendicular plate of the palatine bone. So we said the palatine bone is at the back of the mouth. This is maxillary bone in here, the one I have in purple here, the frontal process of the maxilla. This should be the frontal bone in here. It's very important to know different bones looking at the picture without having to read them out, because you would not have, for example, the inferior concha alone. It's gonna be in there, so you need to know where it is. Here's another part where this is exactly, you see, this here is the part that separates your left side of your nose to the right side. You see, here's the left side of the nose. The right side is towards the viewer, towards myself. And in here we have the vomer. We've already mentioned what the vomer is. The vomer is the part that divides the left side to the right side. Yep, here, vomer, I was looking for that. And frontal bone, here we have the sinuses. We'll be talking about it in a bit. And this should be the palatine plate. This should be the palatal plate of the maxilla. And yeah, very interesting picture in here. Next part is also very easy. Next part we'll be talking about is back view of the skull. It's just so simple. You know that you have here the occipital bone, two parietal bones. You have here the digametic bone and the two temporal bones. So yeah, very, very simple. Nothing much to talk about here. Just need to know the names of the bones. Next up, and lastly, this is the hardest part in my opinion, is the base of the skull. And actually we have two different views of it. So as you can see, the skull in here, you're going to look at it. You're going to look at the base of the skull. You're going to look at it from down up and from up down. So you're going to look at it from internally. You're going to put your eyes here. You're going to look down. So that's the internal view. And then you're going to put your eyes down here, and then you're going to look up without the mandible. That should be the external view. So let's look at the internal view first of all. So the internal view is divided into three parts among itself. It's divided to the anterior cranial fossa, middle and posterior cranial fossas. And this picture actually seems very complicated, but it's pretty simple actually. It's different foramens and different parts of the skull that you need to keep in mind. But if we're talking bone-wise, this here should be the frontal bone. This is the ethmoid bone. This should be the sphenoid bone, the butterfly bone. This should be the temporal bone here, parietal bone, and this is the occipital bone. So bones are very simple to keep in mind, just those ones. But why we have a lot of stuff in here? Because we're talking about, for example, this foramen in here, this foramen in here, what the names are. Here is another picture of it. What the names of those foramens are. Here we have the foramen spinosus. If you look here, you have the ethmoid bone. It has two galli. It has the crista galli, and you have the cibiform plate. So it has many different individual parts that you need to keep in mind. And the only way to learn this is to look at the pictures and try to keep up with the names. Yeah, so like I've mentioned, very important, it's divided into three cranial fossas. Like I said, it has anterior, the middle, and the posterior cranial fossa. It makes it easier to learn, actually, when you know the different fossa names. It makes it easier to learn. Now let's look at the external view of the bottom of the skull. In here, let's give it a second to load. Yep, so something to keep in mind, very important. You know that this part here is the occipital condyle. I've mentioned this before. And the occipital condyle is where the vertebrae touch the skull. And here you can see that if you're going to be talking bone-wise, this is a maxillary bone, this is a zygomatic bone, frontal bone, there's a blue one in here, this is a temporal bone in here, occipital bone. So as you can see, the occipital bone is actually taking a lot of space if you're looking from down there. And this is one of the reasons it's actually very, very simple, because it's not a bunch of bones compacted into a small space, like for example in the front here of the vomer we have different bones. It's just one big bone. Here's another picture. Nothing in particular to keep in mind, actually. Just this foramen here, very important to know, the condylar canal, and of course the big hole, the biggest foramen in the skull is the foramen magnum here, foramen magnum, and yeah, that's where it is. All right, so that's it for looking at the skull as a whole. Now, something very important to understand and look at is something called the paranasal sinuses. And what that is, the paranasal sinuses are a group of four paired, air-filled spaces that surround the nasal canal. What that means is like this: the bones there, some of the bones are empty from inside, and what's inside is basically air. And this thing, the air, the filling into inside of the bone, is called a sinuses. And the parental sinuses in particular means the sinuses near the nasal canal or the nasal cavity. So here's the nasal cavity. We have 4 different sinuses. We have the frontal sinuses, we have the ethmoid, we have the maxillary, and we have the maxillary sinuses. 4 different sinuses here. Let's look at pictures one by one. Frontal sinuses. That's how it looks. That's where it is, and it increases over time. When you're 6, it's only this small, 9 bigger, 12 bigger, and as an adult it will be as big as this. And again, from inside of here we have air, so that's what's inside of the sinuses. Next up we have the ethmoid sinuses. Actually, most of the pictures I found online were pictures of all of them combined. Why is that not loading? Yeah, was pictures of all of them combined, but in this one, you can locate the ethmoid sinuses in here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next up we have the maxillary sinus, the easiest one to locate. It's a very big hole in here, and you have opening into middle nasal meatus. So the opening is basically how the air goes inside and outside of the sinuses, of the maxillary sinuses. And lastly we have the sphenoid sinuses, the simplest of them all. It's just a very big sinuses here in the sphenoid bone, and it has this hole in here where air goes in and out. And we'll be talking about the airflow more later when we're talking about the respiratory system. So yeah, and here's an x-ray view of them. Here's an x-ray view of the sphenoid and ethmoid sinuses here. 1, 2. Like I've mentioned, the ethmoid bone is very small, but it has a bunch of sinuses. It has a bunch of holes in them. See here, you can see the frontal sinuses. I could locate also the maxillary sinus here. You could locate the ethmoid here, ethmoid sinuses, and the sphenoid sinus, the big one in the back here. Here's another picture. If you cut the face, it looks kind of scary. So here's another picture. You see here the ethmoid sinuses, the maxillary sinuses, the frontal sinuses is actually cut, but you can see it. Oh, you can't see it here. No, you can't. All right, so that should be it for the sinuses. And lastly, we need to talk about the joints of the skull. This is going to be very quick. We have 2 different kinds of joints. We have the synaorthosis. Holy crap. Synaorthosis joints, which are the simple joints between the bones, for example, in the upper part of the skull. And we have one diorthosis joint, which is a joint of the mandible. So let's look at the first one first. We have joints that are a bunch of sutures. So here's suture that keeps the bones connected to each other. Here's sagittal suture. We have the lumboid suture. Knowing all the sutures will help you keeping the names of the joints between the bones in here. And lastly, I love to say lastly, we have the diorthosis joint, or the joint of the mandible. And yeah, here it is. And like I mentioned, remember, we've already talked about this before. We've talked about the styloid process coming out of the temporal bone. And here's the ligament I was talking about, the stylomandibular ligament. The styloid process, mandible, stylomandibular ligament that connects between the styloid process and the mandible and provides extra assistance to the mandible joint in here, which is a very interesting joint. And actually, there are a bunch of videos explaining this joint much better. So if you want, just write the joint of the mandible and you'll find even more videos. But that should be it for today's video. It's a little bit long, but yeah. So now, by that, we have already covered everything in the skeletal system: osteology, arthrology, the name of the study. Like I've mentioned, we've mentioned 206 named bones. We've already mentioned all of them one by one. And by that should be the end of the skeletal system. Starting from next video, we'll be talking about the digestive system, the alimentary canal. Very interesting stuff. I hope that was helpful. If you have any sort of questions, just reach out. And yeah, thank you for listening.